What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of NKU Sports Break. I'm so excited to be joined by Rick, one of our notable alumni this week. Rick, how's it going?
It's going great.
Good. So when you were a student at NKU, did you know this was where you wanted to establish your career and legacy, or was it just kind of something that fell together?
Well, I wasn't really sure at first because what I was majoring in what was called journalism back in the day before it was mass communication, or before it was what it is now, informatics. And I was trying to get a job in sports and anywhere I could. I was lucky enough to work at the Cincinnati Enquirer and had all kind of jobs like that. But my most favorite thing was working the NKU games because I was the head of stat crew back in those days. And I fell in love with the institution. I fell in love with the school. And in the back of my mind, I always wanted to work at NKU, but I didn't know if I'd ever have the chance.
I'm so glad that you got that opportunity because in your time at NKU, you have worn a ton of different hats with the organization. So which job has been your favorite since you've been here?
It sounds like a real cop-out, but everyone was my favorite. I mean, I was sports information director for 10 years, and when I was that job, it was the greatest job I ever had. And then I moved to the PR side of the house and was director of media relations, or the school spokesperson for 17 years. And when I was doing that job, it was without question my favorite job. And then I was lucky enough to become the first assistant vice president for marketing and communications. Had that job for 14 years, and I can say for sure that that was my favorite job ever. It was just like everyone was better than the last one.
That's incredible, especially when you've set the bar so high at each place. For you to be able to continue to grow is wonderful. And so over the course of your time at NKU, you've met a ton of different people in those different roles. So who were some of your biggest influences within the athletics family during your time there?
Well, there's all the folks from the first years. I mean, you had Moat Hills, who was the first coach, and Jane Meyer came on and became Miss Everything, including the eventual athletic director. My high school coach, Kenny Shields, I knew him from high school, and then when he was hired at NKU, it was just like bringing family out there to me. And Kenny Shields is probably the biggest influence I've had on my life out of anyone.
That's wonderful. And so with you and Kenny being there together during a lot of the same time, actually, you guys got to see NKU evolve a lot. So is there one moment that you feel like was a turning point for the programs?
Well, there were so many, because when you start a basketball program or an athletic program from nothing, every time you do something, it's a first. So you have your first win, your first road win, all the way down the line. But I mean, for the men's team back in the 90s to go to the Division II finals was absolutely insane. It was so much fun. And then the women winning the national championships, the soccer winning the national championship were all great. But the greatest thing ever, as far as the athletic program, was the decision and the move to Division I, which took not only the athletic program, but the entire institution to another level.
It has been leaps and bounds from there. I know I've been lucky in my time as a student. Just last year, I got to witness the Horizon League Championship. And like you said, anytime you make any kind of progress whatsoever, all of those barriers and ceilings that you can break are super, super exciting for the program. So with all of that being said, we've had a lot to kind of pick through here. So this one might be a tough one, but what is your all-time favorite NKU athletics memory?
Well, I'll be honest, it has to be the move to Division I, because even when I was there in the 70s, there was talk of Division I back in those days even, but we didn't have the facilities, we didn't have anything. And the whole thing that held us back, along with probably the budget and all that, was the fact you have to have the correct facilities. When we got the Bank of Kentucky Center, now BB&T Arena, that was the big breaking point. Dr. Jim Votruba, who was the president, had the wherewithal to be able to orchestrate and move to Division I in a point in time when nobody thought that was even possible. Yet he, through his leadership, found a way, and we got the arena and we got to move to Division I. And as long as I live, I'll never forget that day when we walked into BB&T Arena, then the Bank of Kentucky Center, and made the announcement that we were going Division I. And at that time, we were joining the ASUN Conference.
That's absolutely incredible. Every NKU fan has their "where were you when it happened" kind of thing. And so that was so great to hear your side of it. Rick, thank you so much for coming on the show. Everyone, make sure to give NKU Norse a follow on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook to be able to keep up with all of our athletics updates as we work through this men's and women's basketball season and hopefully get something in the work for spring sports. Thanks, Rick.
Thank you very much.